China. China, an amazing country. If you were to travel west to the edge of the Pacific Ocean, you'd come to Asia. Asia is the largest continent on the planet, with more land people than anywhere else in the world. Asia is also home to one of the biggest, most diverse countries in the world, China. China has an incredible mix of people, landscapes, and wildlife. It is the third largest country in the world. Only Russia and Canada are bigger, and it has the largest population in the world. In fact, 1 out of every 5 people in the world live in China. That's more than 1.3 billion people. China is also a country alive with art, music, dance, food, and celebrations, and it is known for amazing cultural sites, from temples and places, statues, canals, and the longest and hand-built wall in the world. The Chinese also have a long, rich history of learning and inventing. They were the first people to make and use ink, writing, silk cloth, print kites, porcelain, gunpowder, the compass, and much more. The Great Wall of China. More than 2,000 years ago, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huangdi, started building the Great Wall. It had designed to keep hostile tribes from invading China. The Great Wall, which has mostly built by slaves, it's the longest wall in the world. It's also the largest structure every wall in the built by hand. It is more than 6,437 kilometers long. It was built wide enough so as many as 10 soldiers could march side by side when the Great Wall are crumbling. You can still see many of the more than 20,000 watchtowers that served as lookout points thousands of years ago. The Great Wall crossed northern China between the east coast and the north-central China. Well, China. One thing that makes China special is that it has many different kinds of natural places. There are rugged mountains, peaks, rock deserts, tropical forests, and large valleys. And because China is such a big country with so many different habitats, it has many different kinds of living things. There are giant pandas in the bamboo forests of southern China. There are tigers and monkeys in the kind of animals and plants that live in the near China. China has many rivers and streams, include the giant salamander. Unfortunately, China's population has grown so quickly that many plants and animals are losing their habitat. For example, scientists say there are fewer than 1,600 pandas left in the wild. The bamboo forests where pandas live are being cut down for farming and health. Celebrating China from dragons to food. In addition to many natural treasures, China has a rich culture filled with special celebrations, art, music, dance, sports, and food. If you visit China, one of the first First artist things you might notice is the writing. The office language of China is Mandarin, which uses more than 2,000 characters instead of 26 letters, alphabet used in the English language. Each character refers to a word or a part of a word. If you visit in late January or early February, you might be lucky enough to take part of the celebration of the New Year. This is one of China's most important festivals and is celebrated throughout the country. To celebrate the New Year, people take part in colorful parades, wearing bright costumes, and often dressing up as dragons. The dragon is a sign of good luck in China. Fireworks are also a big part of this festivities. Sports are also important to the Chinese. You probably see a lot of people playing table tennis. The Chinese are some of the best table tennis players in the world. You also see a lot of bike riders, since most people get around by bike. Food and the Chinese culture go hand in hand. If you've eaten in a Chinese restaurant, then you know that there are many flavors and species that make Chinese food special for different regions of China are owned for different kinds of food. For example, food from southwestern China is very spicy and often use chili pepper oil. You might also notice that the Chinese only use 2 utensils, chopsticks, and a soup spoon. The Chinese eat a lot of rice. Rice is grown in a flooded field called paddies. In many parts of China, rice is served with all meals and is an important part of the Chinese diet. You also see people eating noodles, soup, fish, soybeans, and other food. China past, present, and future. China has a long and rich history, which has helped shape the country today. Most historians think the country was settled more than 5,500 years ago, making China one of the earliest civilizations in the world that is still thriving today. The capital of China, Beijing, is city almost 14 million people. Beijing is the center of government. It is also known for its many tourist sites, like Tiananmen Square, also named the Gate of a Heavy Peace, a large square in the city center that is used for special events. China also has many other thriving cities. Shanghai is the largest city in China and one of the biggest ports in the world. And Hong Kong is the southern part of China. It's a major business center known for its many shops and markets. Even though many of China, more than 1 billion people live in cities, most people still live in rural towns and villages. Many of them farm or herd sheep and goats in the grassland. Today, China has the second largest economy in the world. It is a leader in making and selling many products to other countries, from toys to televisions and textiles, such as silk. It also has a huge tourist industry and hosted the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. But China faces big challenges. Recent reforms by the communist government mean more private business will grow. The move away from a system where everyone works for a government means China has many union-employed workers. The opening up of the economy is expected to be better in the long term. But this kind of change does not come easily. As China's population grows, people will need more water, energy, food, and other resources. The country faces a challenge of providing enough jobs and records for its population while still protecting the environment and people rights.